Today we are here to introduce our new workshop, and the workshop is about new age children and the parents of new age children. Today with me is Tanya Piralidou. She is a lawyer, she's an author, children books, and a good friend of mine.
Debut children's book writer, aspiring to be.
Aspiring.
And a pregnant
6
mother
months.
of 2.
So we will have a workshop going on your request.
Yes.
A workshop about children and also the parents of those children. And
raising awareness with regards to raising new age kids.
But being maybe a new age parent. So
essentially, being pregnant with, expecting my 3rd child, the last 1 or 2 months, I get comments from parents along the lines of, "Oh my God, you're so brave. You're going for a 3rd child. I only have 1 and I'm going crazy." Or, "Are you crazy?" Or, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" You know, that concern of, is she mentally okay going for a 3rd child? And when I was reflecting on that, I picked up a struggle that new age parents have, because surely if it was something easy or performed easily by them, they wouldn't come to that idea and that shock of 3rd child, 3rd trouble, 3rd thing to tackle, you know. And that's when it occurred to me that parents need some perhaps advice, but on a workshop that raises more awareness within themselves rather than tools and tips on what to reply and what to respond and what to do and what not to do, and all these Instagram reels that in fact causes up even more confusion.
Yeah, because actually you put also some questions from like the main struggle that parents face these days is striking the right balance.
Yes.
And between their own needs and the needs of the children.
And I speak from personal experience. You know that there are definitely fields of parenting that I struggle with. So your input on how to find our center as parents and maintain that center along the parenting journey is essentially what we're here for today.
To find like a kind of like simple remedy.
Yes, like a shift in, I believe there's like 2 schools of thought. The old parenting style, which, you know, gave more authority to the parent, and then the new age parenting style, which looks down often at the term authority, but it somehow, perhaps the old version took away power from the kids, but the new age approach takes away so much power from the parent. So ideally, we need to find the way to merge these 2 schools of thought, because things are getting out of balance. Yes, previously things were not perfect, but now they're not either.
When you say like this, we have to find the balance between the old and the new. It's about that we have to realize that the 80s and 90s people, like your generation, have already that kind of part of awareness. Yeah. So therefore, you struggle with the old.
But we're also like, we have developed in such a different way as 90s kids, that parenting role came and found us in a much more soft and spiritual, giving you voice and being liberal approach, which kind of like became misunderstood. Yeah. And like you're, I don't know, overtaken by the child who has the tools to be that powerful. Like you once said to me that, you know, they have the skills to and the willpower to make it happen. They can
more awareness doesn't say that you become Mother Teresa of another Mandela. Yeah, it talks actually about like that you feel far more, so you can also be more stronger, willpowered and opinionated in a way. Because when you feel a lot, and you, especially as a child, you can't express that in words, you will do it in your behavior. Yeah, so like, and the 80s, 90s parents,
which is we today.
Yeah.
Or are you referring to our parents?
No.
My parents?
No, not my generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
My generation.
Your generation.
Having
So,
reached the parenting role.
Yeah. So you have a different expectation maybe. And you don't want to do it as your parents. Most time people don't do it as their parents did. But it makes that, in a way, you therefore are surprised about like maybe the aggression that you feel from your child. Yeah, because the child is sensitive, picks up your feelings at that time, and reacts differently than you expect.
I'm thinking of my daughter as you speak.
Yeah.
Whom you know, so...
So it's in a way you are confronted with a part of yourself at that time. Confronted about like how you actually feel not in control or upset or think like, oh, I can't do this anymore, which actually energizes even the feeling of the child again. So like raising children is always in every generation, it's important that we are having a rhythm, that we have authority, and that we have fun, yeah, and that we do what we say, that we are honest.
Yes, but
yeah.
we're missing that fun and firm combo.
Yeah, because actually you look from your point of view, I have to give my child freedom, which is true, but not now. So especially between like from birth till 6 years old, it's important to give a role model. And that role model...
As in being a leader.
It doesn't have to be the leader, you have to be the parent. Yeah, a leader has a kind of strategy. A parent has love for his child. And that love actually has limits. Yeah, because you want to keep that child safe. So it's not that you actually say like, I love you, you can do whatever you want. And that's what's most of the time happening. They have so much freedom that they don't know what to do with the freedom anymore.
So you think that the error takes place, whereas my parents were more authoritative and therefore created a bit of a distance, maybe, weren't maybe the best of friends that I would want or aspire to be with my children. But then in my attempt to get rid of that distance and to bridge, I ended up like, in many situations, I find myself imprisoning myself in that and hating, and then the anger builds up and then I explode, or I blame my child, or I blame myself for not managing and staying in charge, or being the living example of that moment's calm person, and teaching the child that this is how you deal with stress, with a stressful situation. You take a breath, you relax, So in essence, I'm not a good example, and I'm not managing, and I'm blaming her or I'm blaming me. So it becomes like a vicious cycle. And that happens when it comes to brushing teeth, feeding, heading out. And loads of parents have that.
Yeah. But
How do we end up in that vicious cycle?
The feeling comes from the point that you want to be a friend of your child. You're not the friend. You're the parent. And like with brushing teeth and having rules in the house, you actually are the leader.
Does that not create a distance, though, in the long run? In essence, like to want to share secrets or wishes.
What makes the difference when you say like you brush your teeth before you go to bed? Is that like something that can actually make a distance in your relationship? It gives a rhythm, it gives actually peace, it gives a kind of harmony. We know what to do. The child is safe in that way. So it's not about like that you always have to laugh with your child to have a good relationship.
Okay, how about when there's disobedience to that simple statement of brush your teeth?
Yeah, being consistent, like no, we are doing it now. And then in a tone that you don't shout, because then you are upset.
Yeah, it's that tone that we need to tap into more.
Yeah, so it's about like that you have this kind of authority, it happens now. Simple as that. Because a child can read you easily. And when you get upset, they get upset.
Yes, and toddlers are known for testing your limits. It's the age where they will take it to the extreme. You could have a minimum amount of tantrum to parents that are here with maximum amount of tantrums of like, I don't know, spitting and falling on the floor.
The child can try to get your limits there, or to find out where to go. It's up to you if you let that happen.
What's the most practical way to not let that happen?
When there is no listening on moments that will bring safety or at least a rhythm in life, and then you actually fail as a parent when you actually get upset about it, because you, at that time, it's not the child, it is you who's not actually following up with your rules, not following up with what you have been promising this child to be safe and secure.
So that imbalance that comes with me not obeying to my own rules and my own limits is reflected then on the child, who also loses balance.
Yeah. So you can see actually in their reaction, you can see your own chaos in your mind.
For not managing to stick to a direction that I gave. Why? What causes that failure in the parent usually, you think?
I think like, especially when you are like, have more awareness when you come into this world, you have the expectation that everybody will understand that you mean well. Yeah, the child doesn't know that.
That you're benevolent, you have good intentions with it.
So your own good intentions are like hunting you.
Why does the child not tap into those?
Because the child needs actually guidance. A child is like wants to know the way in this world, how it works. Yeah, and you're a first role model that shows that.
So the brain of the child cannot comprehend those intentions, cannot.
Not actually
not
like
yet.
when they're 2 years old
or 5.
4. Yeah, it's a kind of the first 12 years we guide our children in that kind of.
Because a lot
world.
of parents actually feel like, I do so much for my child. I plan the birthday. I plan the play date. I do this, the other. You know, when they're away, I still think of what to buy for their clothes. So when the child does something naughty, all that frustration of you should have been more grateful comes out.
So it's about the parents. It's always about the parents. When people actually want to have their children behaving differently, you first have to look in the mirror. What do I do? What do I expect? And most of the time you can see there's a big chaos going on from like, okay, I gave up my job for you. Yeah, I changed my life. And now I'm here changing diapers. And the children that are born right now have still that sensitivity, also what you have. And they feel that kind of
even
anger,
more heightened, perhaps, their
that
sensitivity.
anger of you, or that kind of like, what do I do here? They feel even more, and that activates their anger.
So you think as beings are more sensitive even than our generation?
Yeah.
Why?
Because life is development.
And development brings higher sensitivity?
Yeah.
Why?
Because actually, like when you have been reading the book and you have been reading it 10 times, you get different things out of the book on the 10th time. So it's also with children. Children actually like choose parents that they can handle them. But when the parent is not handling the child, but let them being handled by the child, then you get this kind of chaos.
But then again, that child chose the parent that is mismanaging.
No, because that mismanaging happens in your human decisions. You are having more awareness, but you also have a human life. And in your human life, you're still free to make your choices. So you can come here as a complete enlightened person, but in a kind of body, in an embodiment, in your incarnation in this world, you make human decisions.
In the functioning of the human roles.
Yeah, but plus also your ego mind. Your brain is, or your mind is actually like focusing on the 10% that you can comprehend in this world. So in a way, the human decision of like having a child at that time and then feeling not actually acknowledged or not respected, or that is the human idea of like frustration. And there we have the chaos.
So, but then now I feel like as a parent, hearing that, I feel even more guilty that it's just another reassuring statement that it is my fault whenever there is a misbehavior on the part of my child.
No, it's not a mistake, or it's not your fault. Your child gives you actually the opportunity to look at things. Yeah, it gives the opportunity that you say like, okay, this doesn't work. Yeah, or where am I angry about, or what is my frustration? Not in the sense of like I do it wrong for my child. No, it shows you, hey, there is work to do about this. Can I calm down? Can I actually see what my child needs, and do I dare to take the lead? Yeah.
But lots of parents hear this or read this in books, but I find they find it hard to stay tuned to that frequency of being in charge.
In a way, they are tuned in because there is misery. There's a lot of fights.
Yes, I mean, to stay tuned in the authority slash fun parent mode. It's easy to lose it and become either the screaming parent or the soft parent or apologetic parent. Or so how do you stay tuned into that firm yet fun, in control parent?
You need a lot of humor and and resilience.
And resilience.
Yeah.
Perseverance.
It's about like that you have this kind of flexibility with things, and that you also can laugh about yourself. Yeah, how serious is it all? You love your child, go from your heart and talk with your heart. But it doesn't say that you always say yes. No, a no is a no. And that no is then out for the security from that child.
Okay.
Safety.
Your no is your no. Recently, I had an issue with Arya sleeping. And a lot of things I read, or a lot of experts I perhaps spoke to, tended to say that, you need to go the calm way and just, reassure her that you can sleep alone. I'm sure you can do it. You're great. And all that never worked with my child. I had to go the hard way of saying, you're staying in your room.
Yeah.
Or I'm closing the door. Otherwise, you're not coming out unless there's no crying and unless you conform to my instructions of staying in your own bed. But thankfully, I had some guidance by you on that. Don't worry, this will not traumatize your child. The number one concern of new age parents is, will I traumatize them? Will I stigmatize them? Will they carry this forward in their nighttime dreams, in their adulthood? And that's what stops most parents from saying that no, cutting the cake.
But it's all about your fear then. It's not about the fear of your daughter. I do something wrong. I should be nice. I have to be kind. Yeah, it's your fear of like being the parent. Because when you say no, no is no.
Yes, but you picked up quite well that she was not acting out of fear. She was acting out of anger. She was acting out of manipulation.
Because you were angry that she didn't actually listen.
Yes, and she reflected my anger.
Yeah. So you got upset. You got actually like really frustrated.
Really imbalanced.
And then she uses that to trigger you even more.
And does that apply with all children, or is it like...
Most of the time it is. So your intention there, the way you feel, you bring over to your child. So when you know that you do the right thing and that nothing is changing that she can't actually sleep in your room, then she knows.
But where do you draw the line even what the right thing is? Lots of parents, lots of articles are saying co-sleeping is good. Others are saying don't. Some say go to your child when it cries. Others say no, let it figure out ways to self-soothe. Give it the gift of that tool.
The best thing is to do what gives you peace of mind.
Of the parent. Because happy parent is happy child.
Exactly.
I think that's where most parents lose it. In their attempt to give their kids what the theory they read or heard or whatever is put in there, they find that often that theory makes them unhappy, but because their kids' happiness supersedes, they follow up to that instead of what makes them calm, what gives them a domestic peace.
So yeah, we can actually put our children in courses and that they have to calm down, but as long as you're not calming down,
It won't
nothing
happen.
works.
Yes.
Yeah, simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it next time when things are happening in your life.